Next on Stampede.
SGA News, a look at the Goa flag display, and an interview with the new athletic director.
These stories and more are coming up next. Stampede TV begins now.
Welcome to Stampede TV. I'm Lainey Butt.
And I'm Avery DeWolf. The Milligan Student Government Association hosted a birthday bash for Brutus the Buffalo on March 10th. The celebration took place on the Mary Sword Commons, and it included laser tag, a cornhole tournament, and birthday snacks. Brutus had a big crowd to celebrate his birthday. There was a steady flow of students from the time his party began at 3 p.m. until it ended at 7. The SGA was pleased with turnout and support from the student body. Dalton Schell, the SGA president, said, "With all the COVID precautions and lack of student events in the fall, we thought that it might be fun to have this event in hopes of having a more normal semester."
Also in SGA news this week, William sat down with the SGA Vice President, Chase McGlamory, to find out more about upcoming SGA elections.
With the school year coming to a close, the 2021-2022 SGA elections are about underway.
So SGA is the Student Government Association here at Milligan. We work really closely with Milligan's executive cabinets, President Greer, Dr. Harrison, Garland Young, and basically we are the students' voice to administration. We work on several different projects. We have quite a bit of funding that we use throughout the year to put on events, special projects, as well as homecoming week events and stuff like that.
If you wish to vote in the Milligan SGA elections, the amount of positions may confuse you. But no worries, Chase McGlamory explains.
So we have a student senate, which entails 2 male and 2 female representatives from each class, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, as well as a class president from each class. And then we also have an executive cabinet, which consists of 5 members, president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and a parliamentarian.
For those of you who wish to vote, candidates will be announced on April 1st, with voting following. This has been William Wagner with Stampede TV.
Thanks, William. Be sure to watch for the upcoming SGA announcement about who the candidates will be for this year's election.
If you've been in the sub recently, you may have seen the new artwork based on flags. Reporter Pablo Rivas has the scoop.
If you go in the sub, you'd see a display of different flags hanging on the walls. These are the flags painted by Milligan Sga scholars in their latest project. The students were tasked with painting a flag that represented their culture of origin. Gwen Ellis, Director of Multicultural Engagement and head of the GOA program, elaborates that culture is subjective as it pertains to each student.
They were tasked with representing their culture, and it could either be the state that they're from, the country that they're from, either birth country or maybe the birth country of their parents. We have some students whose parents may work for the government and they grow up in other countries, or they may be missionaries, and so some of them have spent more time in other countries than they actually have in the U.S., although they're citizens. So it gives them a chance to share, a little bit of who they are with the campus, and that's what it's about.
Some of the nations represented include Thailand, Paraguay, Brazil, Moldova, Nigeria, China, Mexico, Ethiopia, and Tanzania. Ellis hopes that this project will help bring awareness and curiosity to the student body about different cultures that are present on campus.
Well, we hope that when people see that they will, be curious and at least ask, and, talking to the students. Even when my own kids were part of the GOA program, sometimes they'll say, well, people don't really understand what the GOA program is about. And, we want them, to understand, we want the campus to understand that diversity is important to Milligan. And so, finding ways to express that.
Jacob Wilson is a sophomore GOA student who's lived in Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Togo, Belize, Israel, and the U.S. He explains his heritage and why diversity is important on our campus.
So I painted the flag of Nicaragua, and the reason I chose that is because my mother's half Nicaraguan, and I've also lived in Nicaragua for 4 years, so I've really come to understand sort of what the flag means. In the center there's an emblem. There are 5 mountains. They're actually volcanoes, and it's surrounded by a lake. And Nicaragua is sort of considered the land of lakes and volcanoes. And sort of, I understand that. I've seen the volcanoes, the active volcanoes, the lava, and all the lakes. And so for me, it's almost like a second home from my dad, who's half American, from the U.S. And it's home to me. Now, I think the displays are important because even though it's a small part of campus, it's just an easy way to see there really is diversity, like all over Milligan.
The display will be up in the sub until after Easter break. This is Pablo Rivas reporting for StampedeTV.
Thanks, Pablo, and be sure to check out the display in the sub.
The musical is coming soon to campus. Milligan's musical theater program had to adapt to COVID-19 precautions this semester in order to put on their spring performance of The Children of Eden Jr. The show consists of both an A and B cast, with the cast performing the same show, just with a different set of main characters. In addition to having two separate casts, the event will be streamed virtually this year in order to keep up with social distancing. Showtimes begin on April 8th at 7:30 p.m., with the final showtime being on the 11th at 7:30 p.m. Production manager and assistant director for the musical, Chase McGlamry, had nothing but positive things to say when it came to how the students adapted to the new process of performing. The cast members had to film all of their scenes separately, but they still found a way to create reactions and emotions to what was happening in the scene, he said. Even during a pandemic, our cast found a way to create a show that prioritized safety while also creating a production that continues to represent musical theater. To see all the showtimes for the A and B cast, or to purchase a ticket for the stream, be sure to visit the Milligan Today page and continue supporting the arts here at Milligan.
Earlier this week, I spoke with a few seniors about their feelings about graduating this year. Hear what they have to say now. This is Avery DeWolf for StampedeTV. It is now 6 weeks until the end of the semester, and Milligan seniors are beginning to look to the end of their undergraduate experience.
It is coming, and it is an unavoidable fate for all of us seniors here at Milligan University. It is exciting and sad and all the emotions wrapped up in graduating.
This is the first time that all seniors get to gather as a group to graduate at the same time.
All the seniors get to graduate at the same time, and that hasn't happened in a very long time. And that's exciting. I'm gonna get to see everybody from my friends in the arts to my friends in the music department to my fellow chemistry, biology, and other science majors. It's very exciting.
Graduates will only receive 4 tickets per student due to pandemic-related safety concerns. Some students expressed that this was what they expected, while others were disappointed at the fact that they could not invite their whole families.
I'm disappointed to only have like 4 tickets, because now my grandparents can't come and watch me graduate, and they're pretty disappointed about it.
Seniors expressed both sadness and excitement at the coming weeks and look forward to their new experiences.
To be honest, I'm ready to graduate, but in the same time I'm also really scared because something is ending. Yeah. And then I don't know what I want to do with my life after graduation. I do have plans, but I don't know what's gonna work out or what's not.
It was great to talk to some seniors and see what they had to say.
In an email sent on March 2nd, President Dr. Bill Greer announced that Christian Pope will be Milligan's next athletic director. Pablo has more.
A changing of the guard is happening at Milligan after the end of this semester. After 23 years of being involved in Milligan athletics, Mark Fox is stepping down as athletic director and is making way for Mr. Christian Pope, who will become Milligan's new athletic director effective fall 2021. Pope comes to us from Campbell University, where he spent 10 years as their associate director of athletics. What attracted Mr. Pope to Milligan was its sheer athletic potential.
So they're looking to grow, and so that's quite honestly one of the most appealing things about it is that the growth potential, the master plan for facilities, the opportunity for restoration for 31 sport programs is just phenomenal what we can do if we get down to it. So that's kind of really what drew me more than anything else to Milligan, is just the opportunity to roll my sleeves up and help us grow and step into a university setting as we move into potentially other avenues besides NAI.
Mr. Pope is looking to move Milligan athletics forward, with the first steps being changes in recruiting and a renewed positive atmosphere for student athletes.
Provide them with a first-class opportunity not only to compete and participate, but to compete and participate in a way that provides them with some swag, that provides them with an experience, be it their locker room, travel, the way we carry ourselves, just in every facet. Have our student athletes and our coaching staff very proud of the fact that they're involved with Milligan, and that if someone asks them, what do you think about your time at Milligan, they're going to be probably the best recruiter that you've ever talked to, telling other people, this is what I enjoyed while I was there, and this is why. If you're thinking about going to college and participating in a sport, or even not participating in a sport, this is where you need to be. So that's really what I want to accomplish, is just trying to instill, an atmosphere of we are where you belong in Milligan University.
Current athletic director Mark Fox has high hopes for Pope's future contributions for Milligan athletics.
I'm excited that Christian Pope has agreed to accept the offer extended to him to be the new AD at Milligan. Mr. Pope brings a wealth of experience and knowledge. He's a professionally trained athletic director. This will be Milligan's first experienced athletic director they've ever had. And I think it's an opportunity for us to move another step up. And we've built a strong foundation here that I think he'll be able to build off of.
This is Pablo Rivas reporting for StampedeTV.
The official switch will take place on August 1st in time for next fall's athletics.
For our world news update this week, we're going across the pond to a tragic story from England. A police officer was charged with kidnapping and murdering 33-year-old woman named Sarah Everard. Sarah went missing on March 3 at 9:30 p.m. when she was walking home from a friend's house. People gathered at a vigil for Sarah on March 13 that was later broken up by police for violating social distancing guidelines. Images and videos showed officers removing women from the vigil in handcuffs and even pinning a woman to the ground. A senior police officer publicly commented on the events at the vigil, saying that the officers were doing their duty as they saw it, to enforce COVID legislation. Different groups are pushing for a change in education regarding sexist attitudes in society, a key measure in preventing violent acts against women.
Back at home, Milligan had an exciting week in athletics. Congratulations to the men's soccer team for claiming the Appalachian Athletic Conference regular season title. The Buffs defeated Tennessee Wesleyan in a 2-1 victory to become regular AAC season champions. Tennessee Wesleyan scored the first goal of the match. However, Milligan's Albert Montragol and Charlie Betts responded with 2 unanswered goals to secure the win for the Buffs. This marks the first time the Buffs have won the AAC title since earning it back-to-back in 2011 and 2012. The Milligan baseball team saw their 5-game winning streak come to an end after it split a doubleheader with St. Andrews on Saturday, March 20th. Milligan lost the first game 3-6, but rallied to win the second game 3-9. The Milligan softball team suffered a loss that ended a hot streak as well. The Lady Buffs had won 13 straight games until losing the first game of a doubleheader against Point University. Milligan lost the first game 1-6, but won the second game with a single run from Savannah Nochera, giving the Buffs a 1-0 victory. The Milligan volleyball team opened its spring season on March 13th with a 3-game weekend. The Buffs won one of their 3 games. They defeated Montreat 3-1. However, they suffered a 3-0 loss to Truett McConnell and a 3-1 loss to Bob Jones University. Sarah Grace Larkey led Milligan in kills against Montreat with 11, and Layla Grant led the way defensively with 13 digs. The Milligan track and field team took care of business this weekend at its first meet of the outdoor season. The Buffs traveled to Columbia International University and left with 3 NAIA first-place finishes and 12 national qualifiers. Emily Kearney ran a 15-minute and 39-second 5K. Her time is ranked first nationally at every level. I'm Laney Butt for StampedeTV.
And I'm Avery DeWolf for StampedeTV. For the latest news information, visit us online at milliganstampede.com. Tune into the Roundup, our weekly podcast, or check us out on social media. Be sure to join us for our next newscast after Easter break. Thanks for watching.